All right, so let's look at number 2, competency 2. And this is foundations of reading assessment. And so a formative assessment is basically, I would say, more of a exit ticket, right? You're trying to see what students understand, so you know if you need to reteach the information for the next day. A diagnostic assessment is to assess what students know before you begin teaching them. Summative is the sum of everything that students know. And then we have the screening assessment. And with the screening assessment, that's going to show you if students have an issue or a reading disability like this, dyslexia, right? Or if they just have a reading disability. And so what we're going to do is read the scenario. I'm going to highlight what's important. And then you'll let me know if it falls under formative, diagnostic, summative, or screening assessment. A is correct because the purpose of a formative assessment is to obtain information about what students have learned and are able to do following instruction. Really nice work. So that is going to be a formative assessment. All right. So here we have phonological and phonemic awareness. And so when we look at phonological and phonemic awareness, it falls under certain buckets. So it's phonological awareness, you're having students clap out syllables, they are doing onset and rhyme. We have students, looking at sounds, things of that nature. All of that is phonological and phonemic awareness. I'm going to switch PowerPoints here so we can talk about that before you have the questions. Let's see. All right. So here we have phonological awareness. And when we look at some of the examples here, examples include rhyme, recognizing alliteration, segmenting a sentence into words, identifying syllables in a word, and blending and segmenting onset and rhyme. So when you look at a word, the onset is the initial sound of that word. So the onset would be the end sound, right? Everything else would be rhyme, onset and rhyme. Alliteration is, the repetition of consonant sounds. So Peter, Piper, pickle, pan, right? That's alliteration. Phonemic awareness. So the focus here is on the specific ability to focus on and manipulate individual sounds and words. So we're not clapping out syllables. We're simply focusing on the sounds of words. Phonemes are the smallest unit in spoken language. So, students are identifying phonemes when they're rhyming. If you're giving students a spelling test, they need to identify the sounds and the letters in order to be able to sound out the word. So I need you to spell cat. Students will say cat, and they're writing it down. That is that phonemic awareness. Phoneme isolation, recognizing individual sounds in a word. For example, tell me the first sound in pace, and they'll say, right? And then we also have phoneme identity, recognizing the common sound in different words. For example, tell me the sound that is the same in boy, bike, and bill, and it's a B. Phoneme categorization, recognizing the word with the odd sound in a sequence of 3 or 4 words. For example, what word does not belong? Bus, bun, rug, they say rug. Phoneme blending, you're blending the sounds together to form a recognizable word. Phoneme segmentation, you're breaking down a word. Skip. Phoneme deletion, what is smile without this? It's smile, right? So all of it is individual sounds in words. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our questions. All right, at the beginning of the school year, a first grade teacher conducts a brief screening assessment in which the teacher asks small groups of students to spell 4 CVC words and 1 word with a consonant blend. So that's it: bag, hen, sit, mop, slug. In addition to providing the teacher with information about students' knowledge of letter sound correspondence, this type of assessment would also provide information about students' development in which of the following other areas related to emergent reading. We know vocabulary knowledge is out. We're not talking about vocabulary knowledge. What would be our answer when you're ready for your answer in the chat? All right, most of us said phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is correct, right? So when we start talking about spelling, students are connecting the phonemes, which are sounds, with the graphemes, which are letters. All right, so we're gonna move on to this question here. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to read it for yourself because it's a longer form question, but I'm going to highlight what is important. And when you're ready, you can put your answer in the chat. Yeah, so A is correct, right? So the issue is the student is not attending to each individual sound in the word at all, right? Now for at, they did, but like men, it was like m, in, la, ein, and even with hot, it wasn't ah, it was like hot, right? Gum, it wasn't g, it was g, right? So not attending to each individual sound in a word is the issue. And so it's going to be A as an apple, identifying and matching the initial, medial, and final sounds of words by pictures. A is an apple. Any questions with this one? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on. So we're gonna be looking at concepts of print. And concepts of print are early literacy skills that help children understand the function of letters, of words, sentences, books, and other types of print. Concepts of print include print awareness, so understanding that print or text convey a message, directionality, understanding that text is read from left to right, top to bottom, and understanding how to move from the end of one line of text to the beginning of the next line, which is the return sweep. Alphabetic principle. So children's reading development is dependent on their understanding of the alphabetic principle. The idea that letters and letter patterns represent the sounds of spoken language, right? It's understanding that the letter M makes the sound, right? So you're connecting the grapheme, which is the written letter, to the sound. Something to think about. So children appear to acquire alphabetic knowledge in a sequence that begins with letter names, then letter shapes, and finally letter sounds. So the parent of a pre-kindergarten student says that their child is learning to recognize and name letters of the alphabet, but has not yet learned to write any of the letters. The parents wonder whether they should encourage their child to try writing the letters. The teacher could best respond by, so look at what has been highlighted. We want to answer choice, that's positive, that shows the progression. So remember, we want to focus on the progression, right? So nothing where we're postponing, we're pushing anything back, right? This is a good thing. We want to be as encouraging as possible. So letter writing can benefit the student by reinforcing their letter recognition skills, right? So the parents of a pre-kindergarten student says that their child is learning to recognize and name letters of the alphabet, but has not yet learned to write any of the letters. The parents wonder whether they should encourage their child to try writing the letters. Yes, definitely encourage your child. It can benefit them because as they're writing the letters, right? They have to recognize the letters, then they start recognizing the sounds, right? So C is going to be correct. It is beneficial. Any questions about this one? All right, so we are going to play a quick game. and then we're going to move on. Give me 1 second. When you are done, if you could put done in the chat, like once you've finished your quiz, so that I know that you're done. All right, let's see. One second. So you're going to go to joinmyquiz.com and enter the join code. Really, really, really nice work. We are going to stop share here. All right, guys. So I just went ahead and did the complete session because I know there were some issues like with the timing for the school account. But moving forward on Wednesdays, we'll meet at 7 p.m. weekly. And so you use this link, we'll meet up. In between, I'll be putting in different Quizlets, Kahoots, different videos that you can view until we get to the next week. So week 2 is when I'm going to ask you to send your score reports and different things like that. For this week, I know many of us have been going to the PPR, ESL, STR courses. And so I have enjoyed working with you guys, especially within the school account. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me and I will see you guys next week. You have a great rest of your night.
Okay, I have a question. So now if I need to register for the schoolie, I only register once and then I'll get all the information, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's $25 a month, and so it'll be 4 sessions. You're welcome, Danielle. You'll have 4 sessions a week. And so after the first week, you go ahead and send your score report. I create a study plan for you, but you'll have access to the sessions and everything like that every week until the end of the cycle. And if you don't want to renew, you can just cancel the subscription. If you decide to renew, then you'll have those sessions for the second week. But it is 4 sessions that you get.
4 sessions a week?
No, it's 1 session.
Okay, sorry. I thought I understood you said that we were gonna have 4 sessions a week, and I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's 1 session. So 4 sessions for that month.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.